Let us talk about the MiG-35, the latest chapter in Russia's storied MiG-29 legacy, now emerging as a 4++ generation multirole fighter. Imagine a sleek, agile jet that bridges the gap between the classic combat-proven MiG-29 and next-generation fighters. It's not quite stealth like the 5th-generation platforms, but it brings serious upgrades that make it relevant in today's fast-paced combat world. This aircraft builds upon design improvements from the MiG-29 KKUB and MiG-29 MM2, enhancing combat efficiency, versatility, and performance. You get smarter electronics, compatibility with a wide arsenal of weapons, and integrated defensive systems to boost survival chances on the battlefield. Think of all-weather precision ground strikes, aerial recon using optical and radar gear, and seamless missions with modern cockpit situational awareness systems. Under the hood, the MiG-35 uses two RD-33 turbofan engines. These are boosted variants of earlier RD-33s, delivering about 7% more thrust thanks to modern materials in the cooled blades. They're smokeless and emit less infrared and optical signature, helping the aircraft stay stealth light. The layout supports an open architecture, so avionics upgrades can be added later depending on customer needs. Maximum payload is around 6.5 tons, and the number of hardpoints places you attach weapons has grown to 9. Fuel capacity and range have also seen a boost of around 50% over the older MiG-29. On the radar and sensor front, this jet is a serious step up. Export versions may feature the Zuk-M or Zuk-AESA radar, state-of-the-art tech that can track dozens of targets, detect small threats, and operate in contested environments. Some MiG-35s also still use the earlier PESA Zuk radar, but the promise of AESA makes it competitive with Western fighters. Add to that the optical locator system OLS-35, an infrared search and track sensor with TV camera and laser rangefinder capabilities. It can detect airborne threats up to 55 kilometers away, scanning plus or minus 90 degree in azimuth and plus 60 degree 15 degree in elevation. There's also a pod system for ground and sea targeting, plus an active jammer pod to counter surface-to-air threats. Inside the cockpit, pilots get high visibility and control with the glass cockpit multifunction color LCD screens, night vision, plus a dedicated display for the OLS system. In the two-seat version, the rear cockpit gets 4 displays, while single-seat versions use the extra space for additional fuel. Let's talk performance numbers. Powered by those RD-33 Mk engines, the MiG-35 can reach about Mach 2.25. It has a service ceiling near 67,000 feet and a combat range up to approximately 1,240 miles without external tanks. Wing design changes include increasing wing area from 408 square feet to 452, lowering wing loading and improving maneuverability. The aircraft also gained fuel and avionics space by tweaking inlet designs and using lighter materials. It now supports in-flight refueling, something earlier MiG versions lacked. Weapon compatibility is broad. You've got a 30mm GSH-31 cannon plus 9 hardpoints for air-to-air, air-to-ground, anti-ship, and anti-radar weapons. This jet supports R-73 short-range missiles, R-77 BVR active radar missiles, and R-27 series missiles. For ground attack, it can carry TV or laser-guided Kh-29TL and Kh-25 MPU. Maritime missions are served by the supersonic Kh-31A anti-ship missile. Suppression of air defenses is possible with the Kh-31P anti-radar missile. For precision bombing, it handles CAB 500 and CAB 1500 guided bombs, while legacy rockets like S-8, S-13, and S-25 cover close air support needs. Electronic protection includes integrated EU pods, radar warning receivers, and infrared search and track systems. So how is this fighter being used and when will it be out there flying in numbers? Development began in the late 2000s, first unveiled internationally at the 2017 Moscow Air Show, and entered service with the Russian Aerospace Forces around 2019. However, production has been slow. Only a handful fewer than 10 jets have been built so far, with 6 used for testing and demonstration roles. Large-scale production was intended to start by 2025, to fill wartime needs and refresh the fleet amid losses, especially in the Ukraine conflict. In 2025, state trials were underway, and real-world testing in Ukraine seemed to mark the MiG-35 as combat-ready. Analysts note the jet offers operational benefits, lower maintenance and operational costs compared to Sukhoi, shorter runway capability, and interoperability with other frontline fighters like Su-30 SM-2 and Su-35S. That means common systems, shared weaponry, shared targeting data. Testing has also validated its survivability, versatility, and relevance, especially as a cost-effective gap filler while Russia waits for heavier, stealthier platforms like Su-57 or Su-75. On the flip side, there are real challenges. Manufacturing capacity seems strained. Russia hasn't made many MiG series jets in decades, raising concerns about workforce, skilled labor, and supply chains. Export sales have yet to materialize. Countries mostly opted for Western fighters like F-16V, Gripen, or Rafale. Critics say the MiG-35 is essentially an upgraded MiG-29 with minimal stealth, underwhelming performance, and limited export appeal. There are doubts whether it can compete in the premium fighter market when stealth and advanced sensor fusion are growing priorities worldwide. Still, for its price and mission set, the MiG-35 may carve out a niche. Think of countries needing a modern, maneuverable multirole fighter but lacking the budget for Lockheed or Dassault. It's agile, affordable, upgradable, and already entering service. Its affordability and existing logistics base could be compelling to legacy MiG-29 users in South and Southeast Asia, Africa, or parts of Eastern Europe. As for a specific 2026 model, there's been chatter that production versions entering service around 2025 to 2026 would include all the improvements: AESA radar, automatic landing systems, G-force protection, neural network-based targeting assistance, but nothing official pins 2026 as a groundbreaking variant. We can expect incremental enhancements as production continues. Putting it all together, here's what you need to know in everyday terms. The MiG-35 is a nimble, updated fighter jet that's faster, more fuel efficient, and harder to detect than its ancestor. It's packed with better radar, sensors, and weapon carrying ability. It's comfortable to fly with modern cockpit tech, can do air dominance and ground attack, and is easier to operate day to day. Russia is pushing it into service now to shore up numbers and fight ongoing conflicts. But production capacity is questionable, and it still faces stiff competition globally. So who is it for? Think countries needing a versatile, lower-cost workhorse, not 5th-gen stealth, but a proven quick multi-role jet that can do a lot of missions well. The MiG-35 may not make headlines like the F-35, but it may find steady buyers who value affordability, simplicity, and Russian support networks. If you're curious about performance, think Mach 2.2 speeds, high-altitude ceilings, 1,200+ mile range without tanks, 9 weapon stations, AESA radar, advanced sensors, IR tracking, in-flight refueling, and a digital glass cockpit. In simple words, it's an evolved, practical, and ready-to-fight fighter for the mid-2020s. That wraps up what the MiG-35 is all about: its design, engines, Sensors, weapons, production outlook, pros, cons, and who might find it useful. It's a blend of old MiG DNA and new world tech, trying to stay in the fight while stealth fighters rise. Keep an eye on late 2025 into 2026. If production scales up and deliveries flow, we'll start seeing this jet in more numbers and possibly in new countries as well.